Deep Purple, take one. Hi guys, Greg at G.H.Guitars, another video, another track we'd have a go of. Slightly more complicated, it's got a few tricky little bits in the riff. And this is by Deep Purple with Steve Morse on guitar. I'm not going to be doing the guitar solo part of it. I'll show you what's involved, I'll show you the scales and the keys and everything else that's involved in doing the solo. But this is strictly chords and riffs and improvising ideas, shall we say. Okay, so let's take it back to the start of the song and let's see what we've got going on. Okay, rather than play back and play what I've just played already, the opening part, which we have, is conveniently we've got a drum intro, and in the 10 seconds in we've got and two lots of the chords we have, the chords we got going on. We've got a D, we've got a C, back on the D, and then this chord right here is a way of playing an F power chord, which brings out the higher notes, emphasizes the higher notes. And here's what I'm doing, I'm playing like a D-shaped chord, D's here, D up 2 frets, E up one more fret, you get an F chord. And with my little finger, I'm bringing my little finger up to the A string on fret number 8, and right there is an F note, and that gives you an F power chord. Yes, we could do this, we could do this, we could go here, you could go there. I just quite happen to like the sound of these chords. A little bit tricky to get to, but I just like the sound of them. Anyway, we got D, D, last two chords we've got one A, an A5 chord and a G chord. I'm playing the A chord by doing the B and E string on fret number 5, and I'm also fretting on the D string. I'm fretting the D string, fret number 7. That would give me an A note, and again this combination of notes would give me an A power chord. Again, this sort of emphasizes the high notes. You could have that, we could go here, we could go here. In fact, the A and the G could easily go I'm just looking for not variety as such, just something a little bit different, so you're not just playing the same power chords all the time. I quite like the sound of it. If you've got a bass player and a keyboard, which is exactly what you've got on the track anyway, a lot of that frequency range is taken care of by the bass and the keyboard, so let's get the guitar to stand out a little bit. You can strum these chords. as long as the bottom part of your third finger mutes out the G. So we don't want the G ringing. You could have it ringing over in the G chord, but then you got to alter the shape and bring it around a little bit further. The other way to do it as well is to get your pick on the D string, and I'm using my my middle two fingers, my second and third finger, then to do like a claw action on the top E and B string. So I'm going for a pinch there. That would also apply. You can also do that with the F chord as well. So with the F chord, again, G on fret number 5, B on fret number 6, little finger on the A string on fret number 8. I'm picking I've got the pick hitting the A string. I've got my middle two fingers taking care of the G and the B string. Or again, alternatively, strum it as long as you're muting out. In this case, we've got to mute out the D string in this case. Okay, so let's go over that section and play it through. We're going to go. Notice the scratches in between. I'm also playing the C chord, 5th on top, rather than going there. Yes, I can do that. That just works for me, so I'm playing it that way instead. Middle two strings, fret number 5, all covered with one finger. The scratches in between. You may find that in doing those scratches, you'll pick up on some of the harmonics you got there as well. Fine, that works just great. It sort of all adds to the song. There's one. They just kind of happen, and they work. They fit. So moving on from let me play the whole of that verse section. Only one line because the line duplicates. So you got D, C, D, F, C, D, A, G. Okay, moving on. 30 seconds into the song, we got the riff. The riff is based on an F sharp minor scale with some chromatic notes as well, which would suggest that it would be an F sharp blues scale. So break it down slowly. One more time. I could do a note by note breakdown of this. What would be a really good exercise for you guys is to slow down what I'm doing, take a good look at it, and just sort of figure it out for yourselves. Okay, let's run back to take the track back to the start, play through it, including the riff. We've got a verse, talked about it, the riff one time only, first time round, back to the verse, riff again twice, which will take us up to the bridge, and we'll stop the track at 1 minute 20 and do a breakdown of what's happening in the bridge. okay, into the bridge section at 1 minute 20. Breakdown of the bridge section would be E. Again, one of my preferred methods of playing an E power chord, where you get to cover the low notes and the high ones. It's an E major chord with that major third, the G sharp, muted off with your first finger. Again, rather than me do a complete breakdown, step-by-step breakdown of it, watch what I'm doing. Have a listen to how Steve's playing it, Steve Morse is playing it, and draw your own conclusions from it. Develop yourself as a player. There's only one guy who's going to be able to play it note for note, and that's going to be Steve Morse. Have a listen, add your own thing in. So where am I going next? Another variation on the E chord. So one strum, open E major with a major third muted out. Next place, I've taken a D5 shape, taken it up by 2 frets, taken it up by a tone if you like. I'm only hitting 2 notes. I'm hitting the G on fret number 4, I'm hitting the B string on fret number 5. It maybe looks like I'm hitting more strings, and there's a little bit of percussive stuff going on in there. So I've got my first finger muting up the D string. I've got my third finger muting up the top E string. So you don't just get, there's a little bit more to it than that. We go down to a D suspended 2 if we want to be absolutely specific about it, and then back up to the E. So to follow that, here's how I'm going to play the C chord. I'm playing a C chord like this. It looks a little bit like an open C major shape, but what I'm doing is I've got the C note right here, open G, finger 1 is holding down the B string on fret number 1. So again, we've lost the major third. We've got the C, we've got the G open, which will be the 5th, and we've got the C octave of the root note. It just sounds like a big chord. Power chord works. It's nice to have that open string in it as well. Okay, so if you're pinching that, by all means pinch it. The only string to avoid is going to be the D string. If you're strumming it, make sure the underside of your third finger mutes out the D string, and the line finishes off with a D chord. Second line, similar. And there's a little fill, there's 2 little notes in there as well. We've got, okay, so E, D to E, 2 notes in the fill, G, open E, pull off works, followed by a B chord. So that second line. Sorry, with a couple of stray notes, I'll play it again. There you go, that's better. Third and fourth lines are repeats of the first and second. So if I take this section out again, it's 1 minute 20 into the song, and I'll play the whole section a little bit slower than what it runs on the recording. Okay, the very last line, my mistake. So apologies for the mistake in that. C, D, the very last line goes E, E, and there's a G and an A chord in it, which takes you back into the verse. So let me just correct myself on that bridge section. 1 second, okay. So. Okay. Yeah, second time through was correct. Apologies for the first one. Let me take it back to 1 minute 20 or just before, and I can play through that bridge section so you can see what's going on with it. Okay, just before we go into the verse, the final part, the final two chords in the bridge section are the G, right there, top two strings, fret number 3, and the D string, fret number 5. I'm going to move that up by 2 frets, and in doing so, in taking the G chord up by 2 frets, up by a tone, that'll give me the A chord that we need. So I'll just back this up, and the next part we've got would be a verse followed by 2 riffs followed by a bridge. Okay, and we got a guitar solo as a play out, as a coda. One thing with regard to picking the riff, Steve Morse is known for his incredible, and I mean, maybe I don't know if there is anybody that is actually better out there that at it than him. Picking every single note, his articulation and his technique is absolutely phenomenal. And just check out, I think there's a YouTube video of Steve Morse in the Dixie Dregs or the Dregs doing a track called The Bash on a live gig. The picking thing is just unbelievable. It's the sort of thing that makes you want to play, sort of practice for 12 hours a day and give up all at the same time. Anyway, the riff. I remember reading in an interview that Steve attempted, he did a gig one time and he thought, I'm going to pick every single note. This is a magazine article way back when. And he realised that yes, even though you can do that, it does sound, sometimes it sounds mechanical. So if I just take this riff apart, work out exactly which bits are being picked and which parts are pull-offs. First two notes, pull off. Next three, picked. Pull off. Pick. Pull off. All picked. Experiment with it and see what works for you. Picked, picked, picked. I would say definitely have the have the pick attack on the chromatic section, the C sharp, C and B. Slow down for you, sorry guys. Hammer on, hammer on. Picked, hammer on, hammer on, picked. Definitely pull off first two. Plus it gives you a chance to get your pick in the sort of in the area of the A string as well, to do those that chromatic run starting on a downstroke. Yeah, pull off. Pull off. Hammer on. Up pick. Hammer on. And then all picked. Okay, for the lead guitar parts, we are looking at the F sharp minor scale. There's one right there. We'd also have one here as well. It's a good idea to do the descending notes as well for that, so I'll do them slowly. I do it ascending and descending. We could incorporate some low notes. So what we've done is started on an F sharp note, gone to the highest point of that particular position, and then we've incorporated the low notes in it as well. So let's do another couple of shapes. We start on the A string on fret number 9, and we go. Okay, with the last on top E string, if we extend that up as far as fret number 14, we get another F sharp, so it does become a 2-octave scale. So how about linking up some ideas for the lead guitar solo? Okay, Steve Morse is also known for pretty much every technique going, but let's have a sort of a legato line, is it? Like sort of linking up one scale into another. Some good stretches. So what I've done there, I've linked one scale pattern into another scale pattern all on the D and G strings, and the span, if you like, is going from fret 2, fret 4, fret 6, fret 2, fret 4, set 6, fret 6 even. Then we can move this idea up and we can go. So we now get, move the idea up again. Move it up one more, another position if you like. Let's go fret 7, fret 9, fret 11. So then we get a run which would go from fret number 2 up to fret number 11. And I guess I could attempt to speed it up. These are literally strictly sort of ideas. I can try and play it a little bit faster, I guess, or which is okay. I'd prefer to practice that a little bit more before sort of committing it to anything. There's another idea as well which I was playing around with. We go from one F sharp minor scale which would be that. We should break that down for you. So you've seen the scale shapes already. So if we hang on to the top two notes, the B string and the E string notes, then we can do a shift in position on that, and we start with the B string on fret number 9 going 9, 10, 12. Same on the top E string. And from there we'd have, that would be fret number 10, 12, 14, 10, 12 and 14. Again, watch the fingering positions. Really good for technique. First, third, little finger, first, third, little finger, first, second, little finger, first, second finger, little finger, first, second, little, or. If I was playing this, I would go for that stretchy section. First, second, little finger, first, second, little finger. And what we've done there is we've basically played two F sharp minor scale shapes, linked two up, and ended up on an octave above the starting point. And what I finished up with there was an octave above the first position, which would be a little bit of Pink Floyd, a little bit of Steve Lukather in there. Can we put all those ideas together? Maybe. Again, only ideas, just ideas. I'm sure you guys can play it a lot more fluidly and accurately than I can. So here you go, Deep Purple with Steve Morse, Any Fool, know that, give it a go, see how it goes. See you in the next video. Greg from G.H.Guitars, the headless guitar teacher, signing off. See you in the next one, guys. Thank you very much. Goodbye.